Throughout the volunteer system, as we progress from different modules, we want to let you know that as pastors, we have your back. We want to be able to go through this with you. In fact, we're going to be providing opportunities or resources for the church that will essentially help you as a leader as you continue to create your volunteer system. Let me give you an example. Right now, we're going to talk about 5 different models of asking. 5 different models of asking. Here's the cool thing. 2 of those are going to be Pastor Stephen and myself from the pulpit, helping as best we can. Here's the first one. The first one is strategically place sermons throughout the year to create the environment or the culture of stewardship, the stewardship of time or service. Now, it's important for us to be able to, as we said earlier, do more than just a sermon, but we want to intentionally create the culture within the church where people are constantly wanting to get involved, to grow, to serve, to lead, and to win. So we want to, at different points in the year, present sermons to include people to be part of a team. So that's one method. The second method that we want to do and that we're working on right now is to create a class where people can go and become equipped and learn about their spiritual gifts, learn about their talents, the things that God is calling them to both do and to be. God wants them to become somebody and to do things for other people. And so this class is going to be launching next year, hopefully early next year, and we can take people through that process as they learn about who they are, learn about their gifts, learn about the calling of who God wants them to be and what He wants them to do. Then we can plug them into the different ministries we have here at Adventist Fellowship. So there are 2 models that I've presented before you that we're going to kind of take upon our shoulders to run with and other people who will be helping lead those things. I also want to say this. You're not limited to those 5 things. As you work with your leadership team, as you work with the leaders on your team, and even the volunteers, if you want to call them in, to strategically put together an attracting system, don't feel like you're limited to these 5 things. 3, really, because we're already doing the other 2. But here are the 3 other effective ways that you can ask. One of those is to create a card. Now here's the cool thing. The idea that we have is to be able to create a card that gives the information about your ministry, just in a nutshell what your ministry is about, perhaps the categories that fall under your ministry. And at the bottom, it'll have a tear-off section that gives their name, their information, their contact info so that we can contact them and continue the process of helping them to go from where they are to where God wants them to be. Because this is a process, it's a plan, it's a system that we're setting in place. So these cards, we need your help. This is where you and your team can come together and decide what you want to put on the card that describes what your ministry is about, the categories, and just a way to pique their interest. And so we can create these cards for you, but we're going to need the information from you. So that's one way to create an invitation card and to have that ready. We can have it at the connection desk. You can have it as a team leader, or your team, your volunteers, or your leaders within your team can be able to have a conversation with someone and say, here's some more information about who we are. If you're interested, sign up, tear it off, and turn it in. Another idea, an effective way of being able to help someone understand about your ministry and to invite them is to give them a ministry tour. Now, this could be done on a Sabbath afternoon. It could be done, I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, but it can be done during the Sabbath morning if you have a ministry that's going and you want to do on-the-ground tour of what it's like. Then invite them to come along with you as you're a liaison, or as you're helping out with hospitality, or if you're in a Sabbath school class and you want them to become part of that small group. There are so many other ministries we do here, but you kind of get the idea. Give them a tour of the different things that your ministry does. One way that we can do that is create a ministry expo, but we're going to need your help, and we're going to need you guys to help us put that calendar together if you're interested. So that is a ministry tour. Something else that Pastor Stephen and I are doing, we're doing the ministry minutes, these videos that kind of give an idea, that highlight the different topics in your ministry, and within a minute to 2 minutes max, we kind of present an idea of what your ministry is to pique the interest of our church family from Sabbath to Sabbath. So that's an idea, keep that in mind. The last thing that I want to say, and let me just recap real quick, sermons, and we're doing a classroom setting, and we're, with your help, you guys have to come up with this, but if you guys want a card, with your help to put the information on that card, and then the ministry expos or the ministry tours, okay? And finally, the fifth one is this. As pastors, we shouldn't have to ask you to do this. But as leaders, we need to do more of this ourselves. Here's what I mean. When you interact with someone, whether it's here at church, or whether it's in the dining hall, or whether it's on your way back to your car, there are so many divine opportunities that could present themselves that we may be just too busy or may not have even noticed that it's an opportunity. All we're asking of you is that on a Sabbath morning before you come to church, on a Wednesday evening before you come and step through the doors, that you take some time to pray. Pray a specific prayer. God, here's the prayer. It can be as simple as this. Pray simply, God, lead me to whomever you want me to invite today. Lead me to whomever you want me to invite today. It can be that simple. And I know without a shadow of a doubt that as you walk through the doors, as you walk through the halls, as you walk into the dining hall, wherever you find yourself, God will put someone in your life. Whether it's this coming Sabbath, or whether it's Wednesday, or whether it's a week or two from now, God will help you bump into that person that needs to make the next step. And God may want you to be the person to help them take that step. So please keep it in prayer. Pray before you come and walk through these doors that as a leader, God will put someone in your path, or that you will bump into someone and that you can then hand them a card or personally invite them to become part of your ministry. So these 5 models: number 1, strategic sermons; number 2, create a class; number 3, create a card. Help us create that card. Number 4, do ministry tours or ministry video. Come talk to Pastor Stephen and I. Well, let's do a ministry expo. Number 5, prayer. I leave that one last because I believe it's the most important. Just pray. Pray that you will bump into people and opportunities to invite them to your ministry. Those are just 5 different models or methods of inviting, but there are so many more. We encourage you to get together with your team or your team leaders, sit down, brainstorm, generate more ideas of how you can attract people to your ministry, and let's get this rolling.